it going? Welcome back. Today's video is going to be about dating red flags, relationship red flags, just signs they aren't right for you. I'm also going to talk about narcissism a little bit, and I have 4 quotes. So hopefully the setup is good, and we can just get right into the video. Okay, so the bottom line is, when you're dating or in a relationship, you need lots of things. There needs to be chemistry, compatibility, safety, security, stability, shared interest, patience, kindness, respect, love, communication, and trust. So that's what a relationship is built on. And so those things should be, while you're dating the person, those things should be there, you know. And I think what happens is, a lot of times, like early on, there's things we see and there's things we miss, or there's things we see and we look the other way. Like maybe they have an addiction, maybe there's already kind of a lack of respect there, or they're just, they're getting angry, or there's just things that we saw early on that we overlooked, and then it comes back to like bite us in the butt. So okay, so these are the dating and relationship red flags. So number 1, the highs are too high and the lows are too low. So this basically is what I just said. The highs are too high, the lows are too low. It should be more like little ups and downs, but it shouldn't be just like, it's amazing and then it just goes down to just like you're in tears and you're fighting and it's just drama and chaos. It should just be, there can be little ups and downs, but not anything that's just like messing up your life on a daily basis, or on a daily or weekly basis. He or she shames, ridicules, or belittles you when you speak up. Now that's just wrong on so many levels. That's not okay. You're always walking on eggshells. You can't say anything to upset them. That's not good either. You start liking yourself less and doubting yourself more. They don't like you as you are. They make suggestions on how to look, be, or act different. He or she tells you need to be thinner or heavier or sexier or whatever. Yeah, that's not good either. That's a red flag. This is a big one. Your friends and family don't like them. They can see objectively. They can see, how they're treating you. They can see, they want what's best for you. And if the person is, not treating you well, and your friends and family are gonna like speak up and try to shake some sense into you. This is a big one too. Like, their friends warn you about them. Like, I've had this happen. The guy that I was seeing, his best friend tried to warn me twice, and I still didn't listen, and went back for more disrespect and punishment. The next one is, you have to recuperate emotionally after spending time with them. They take more than they give. Another big one is, they never want to talk on the phone. They don't care how you are, how your day was. They're only interested in sex and a physical relationship. And it's one thing if you also just want a casual thing and you're not looking for a relationship, but if you are the type of person that needs more than just sex, then obviously, if the person isn't getting to know you, if they're not genuinely interested in your day and how you're doing, and that's a big red flag. I wish I had like a red flag just to wave. Red flag. And I think early on, when we're texting someone, you can tell right away if what someone's intentions are. And I think a lot of times, in order to get the guy or be liked or whatever, we can sort of go against our better judgment and accept stuff that we normally wouldn't accept. And I think a good way to test a guy is to set that boundary and say, hey, you know, maybe we could talk about this instead of, you know, I'm not really ready to go down that road, you know. And if they are just like, oh, okay, sorry, I'll, you know, my bad, you know, then that's good. But if they're like, oh, well, I guess you're not that kind of girl, or I thought you liked me, or, you know, like if they start gaslighting you, that's not good. If they start, you know, just like giving you like a guilt trip to see if you'll move your boundary back instead of keeping it where you had it. Yeah, so the bottom line is with this video, I'm trying to make sure I'm just looking at the video. Okay. The bottom line is it's not wrong to want connection, intimacy, love, fun, happiness, but we have to find that with someone who can give that to us in a healthy way, someone who has that to give and who wants to give that, and like with no strings attached. The other thing I got to thinking was, I think with the next person that I date or go out with, I think he needs to be a man of God. Like, he needs to have some sort of like accountability, because I think when people don't have any faith and they don't believe in anything, they don't have to answer to anyone. You know, they're just like a leaf floating around. You know, they don't have. Yeah, so I put, it's no wonder he couldn't be faithful. He had no faith. You know, I think that it's just, yeah. So the other big thing I learned with my research here is that we find, and this is, I'm talking about myself included, we find people or relationships that recreate the emotional drama we experienced when we were little. So it's not like a huge surprise that I would find someone who has substance abuse problems, who is an alcoholic or a drug addict, or you know, has a compulsive whatever, because my dad was an alcoholic. So I have to be very careful when I'm choosing men, that I don't pick someone who is like my dad, who is like my dad all over again, you know. So it's like I have to forgive my dad for not being there for me sometimes, and, you know, just let it go and like give myself the love and attention that I wish I had gotten from him, you know. And it's like, yeah, so that's why they call it a trauma bond or repetition compulsion, because in a way your psyche is trying to heal the past, but it's almost like we're going about it the wrong way, or like when we do that, we're going, because another example is if you had a critical parent, you'll find a partner just like them, almost because that's what's normal and that's what you think is love, or that's what you're used to. So that such that when something just feels kind of normal and nice, you're like, oh, well, that's not what it felt like. But actually that's, you always want to choose the healthy rather than the unhealthy love, because sometimes that chemistry and that butterflies is actually for something that's not good for you. So you can't always trust the chemistry and the butterflies. If it also has like safety and security with it, that's okay. That's what you want. It's okay to have the passion, but you also want a friendship with it. It can't just be the passion and no friendship, you know. So like I said, it comes from a place of wanting to heal the pain or make things right. It just feels familiar. It becomes a pattern. Rather than choosing someone who is healthy and can give us the love we need, we continue to settle for scraps or someone who is unavailable. Another thing I wrote down was, when a person lies to you 3 times, it's 3 times too many. Or when everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. And like my mom said the other day, like, it isn't easy to lie. If there's someone who is just lying, that's just like a compulsive liar, that's not good. That's just like I can't, to try to tell a quick story, because now I'm probably gonna have to make 2 videos because there's just so much. But my neighbor, my new neighbor that moved into Tom's apartment, she's having trouble with the people that live above her. The guy must stomp around. So she knocked on my door the other day and she was like, will you go up there with me and talk to them? And I was like, sure. I was like, whatever, you know, cause she acted like it was only him up there. And so I thought, well, I don't want her to go up there by herself. So I went up there, but then she made up this story about how we were down there making popcorn balls and I heard him stomping around, and I must have shook my head like that because I'm not a liar. I shook my head, and so when we got back downstairs, she was like, why did you shake? And I am like, I could tell she was like upset, and she was like, why did you shake your head? And I was like, well, because you were telling that story about we were down there making popcorn balls and I heard him, and so I guess like our body, like we subconsciously or unconsciously, like, you know, like I did that. And so like I think she just wanted someone to corroborate on her story, but it was like it was just funny because I told my mom, I was like, I can't even, like, someone standing next to me telling a story about me, even I can't lie, like, even, you know, it wasn't even words coming out of my mouth, but, you know, I think that's how I'm different than the person I was dating. And I don't want this video to be about me, like, being rude to him or saying rude things, or, you know, even though, yeah, he deserves it. I want to be the bigger person here and just, kind of try to let this go and, just move on. It's like I want to accept responsibility for the part that I played in it, that I continued to go back to him when he had already shown me he couldn't be trusted. It's like you look away until you can't. And it's like, I think it was like just not being able to get a hold of him because he would be entertaining someone else that night, and it wasn't my night to talk to him, It's just like, I was just like, this is ridiculous. I could, like, my one friend Michelle told me, she was like, you could be with someone who really loves you and cares about you, and like you can get a hold of him. And when he says he's at the grocery buying bread, he's really at the grocery buying bread. He's not with Tina, whatever, And it's like that thing, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. So I think back to the guys who were nice, kind-hearted, and that I like pushed away. So it's almost like I have to work on, part of it's I have to work on my self-esteem, and I have to feel like, and I feel like I'm getting there, like I'm worthy of being treated well, and I'm worthy of being someone loving me and caring about me, and, buying me dinner or taking me somewhere, or, or going to a concert or a soccer game, excuse me, that's another reason to, date, is just to have someone to do stuff with. It's already 13. It's like Tyler Perry said in this one thing, I should post it, God always shows you a sign. And I had so many signs, but it's like I'm the type where I want to believe, I always believe the best in people. And I think when you like someone so much, even when it's not warranted, and you invest so much into someone and you want it to work out, and even though neither of us were devoting what needed to be devoted to make it work, living 45 minutes apart, that didn't help, and that he never came here, I had to go there, and then I didn't really want to move in there, that would have helped us, there's a lot of things that just our lives just didn't get weaved together, like we just didn't, and it's sad, it's disappointing, it's, I just think at the end of the day, even though we did enjoy our time together, it just, I don't know. I don't exactly know I don't exactly know, you know, and the fact that he needed it he needed sex constantly, and yet, and you know, and I just wasn't there enough. And then instead of him coming over here to be with me, he would just get it from someone else. So, you know, do with that what you will. But then the next part is narcissism, but I feel like this is a lot to go into. Already at 15 minutes. I guess I can just go into this. Narcissism is a personality disorder in which they have an inflated sense of self-importance. They have no empathy. They have a disregard for others' feelings, an inability to handle criticism, and a sense of entitlement. So it's found more commonly in men. They have an excessive need for admiration. And with narcissists, they could have had a childhood where they were abused or spoiled. It's not like dependent on one or the other. The narcissistic dynamic is all about power and control, whereas a real loving relationship, the power dynamic is equal. And see, what happens is a narcissist, they engage in a whirlwind romance. It lacks substance. There's lots of love bombing. It's like living with someone where the weather is always extreme. So, and I think what happens is a narcissist gets with an empath. See, I'm more of an empath. Like, I want to help people, and I'm sensitive, and, you know, and I see the best in others, and I want to help and heal. And so, but a narcissist and an empath getting together are really bad, because an empath is used to, they have low self-esteem, they don't know how to speak up. They're often doormats. They don't get their needs or their wants met. So the narcissist just kind of, they bow down to the narcissist, and then the narcissist gets their way. But I think it got to the point where I think eventually the empath realizes they've been taken advantage of like one too many times. So for people with narcissistic personality disorder, the relationships tend to be transactional. A narcissist may show you love and act in loving ways, but this tends to be conditional, and that displays of love depend on what you can give them in return. I think this is how it was with the person that I was dating off and on for like the last 2.5 years. It was like, I told my mom if I really thought this person loved me and cared about me, I would move in, you know. But I felt like the whole time it was more about he needed help paying his rent. And there's nothing wrong with needing help paying your rent or splitting the rent, but I felt like that was the main reason. He just wanted that $400, you know. And if I had moved in, which there wasn't enough space, and instead of him saying, hey, let's get a place together where you and me and my son his son can be comfortable, instead he was content with me having to drive 45 minutes to my job every day, whereas yet he had a 10-minute drive. So it was like, I felt like he wasn't compromising at all. And he was probably going to continue to see his other 2 girlfriends while I was living there, you know, because I was going to have to become submissive and not say anything, and there was all these guidelines I was going to have to follow. And I just thought to myself, I did not just, you know, go through what I went through to now be in some other prison or some other hell, you know. So the 10 signs of a narcissist: fixation with appearance, unreasonable expectations, disregard for other people, praise, and more praise. They want praise. It's everyone else's fault. They fear abandonment. They live in a fantasy world, and there are always strings attached. So I covered all that. So as like an empath, and for any of the empaths out there, we are easy prey because of unhealed pain. We give our power away, and we have to take it back. So the things you do as an empath dealing with a narcissist, don't go deep. This is from Dr. Ramani. I watched some of her videos on YouTube. Don't go deep. Don't defend, don't explain, don't engage, and don't personalize. So don't engage, don't defend, or don't defend, don't engage, don't explain, and don't personalize. So I've actually tried this, and you know, it's like I stay away for months at a time, you know, and get stronger, and then I'll go back just thinking maybe he's changed, maybe it's different, but it's always the same. There's always just, he lies to get me there, and then there's lies when I'm there, and then his other girlfriend shows up and he sends her away this time, but it's like, it's a little too late, you know, it's just a little too late. And it's like he doesn't care about hurting other people. So it's like, why am I asking questions that I don't want the answers to? That's good. Let's see. You know, so now I have to grieve the end of the relationship, that it didn't work out. You know, they say that it takes, say you were together for 7 years, it takes 7 months to get over them. So he and I were together like 2 years off and on, so 2 months to get over. Yeah, they are very charming and endearing, manipulative. They make you feel special, chosen. But you have to deep down feel like when you get a text from this person, do you just like tense up? Does it just like, you know, it's one of those things where do you really, does it really feel good to be with them, or do you just always like tense and like, you know, because they're about to like go off on you, you know, like, you know. So that's what, yeah, are you losing things or are you gaining things by being with them? Are you losing possessions, self-respect, mental health, peace, you know, or are you gaining things? Are you gaining, like, not that you should gain possessions, but do they give you gifts? You know, do you feel better about yourself? You know, do they bring you peace? So the radical acceptance, you have to have radical acceptance when dealing with a narcissist. This dynamic won't change. This is the limits of this person. You know, strive for your own self-preservation and protection. Let it go and move on. Okay, so this is more like biblical. There's something on the other side of this. Just be patient. You know, let go of the anger and bitterness towards him. Neither of us were getting what we needed, and it was just like a lose-lose situation. It wasn't a win-win situation. Yeah. So, yeah, a good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. That's from Luke chapter 6, verse 45. So, yeah, it's already 23 minutes. I've been talking a lot. Hopefully this has turned out. I do have a couple of quotes. I guess I'm just gonna do these two. So the first quote is from a Kenny Chesney song, You and Tequila. It's about addiction. One is one too many, and one more is never enough. So that's like an alcoholic, one is one too many. Like they can't have one drink. And then one more is never enough because they can't stop. And it doesn't heal the pain, it just numbs it. Second quote is, a quiet and modest life brings more joy than the pursuit of success bound with constant unrest. That's a good one. It's Albert Einstein. Sounds more like a Thoreau quote. And the last one is, I'll end on this. It's from the Carly Pearce song, What He Didn't Do. I've got my side of the story and he's got his side too. These are lyrics from a song. So I ain't gonna go and tell you what he did, but I'll tell you what he didn't do. Treat me right, put me first, be a man of his word. Stay home 'cause he wanted to. Always fight for my love, hold on tight like it's something that he couldn't stand to lose. The devil's in the details, I won't tell the hell that he put me through. All I know is in the end it wasn't what he did, no, it was what he didn't do. And then she says, I ain't met the right one yet, but I know when I do, he'll. And then those things that he didn't do. He'll treat me right, put me first, be a man of his word, stay home 'cause he wanted to. Always fight for my love, hold on tight like it's something that he couldn't stand to lose. So, there you go. That's my video for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and Yeah, so I said a lot. I probably said too much, but that's how it goes. I don't wish any ill will toward anyone. Obviously, I have feelings, had feelings, and that's what's hard about it. But at the end of the day, I made the mistake of putting all my eggs in one basket, and that's where I went wrong. I guess I should have had guys on the side, but I just don't roll that way. That's just not the way I am. And I know that there's someone out there for me that can love me and treat me right, and hopefully eventually I will meet him. And I think it just spending the holidays alone, I think that was hard, because I feel like there's a part of me that does want a boyfriend and does want to be in a relationship. But like I said, I focus on my hobbies. I focus on, just doing my thing, and I think that's fine for now. So I hope this video has been helpful. I hope I haven't spoken badly about anyone. I'm not saying anything that's not the truth, and I think when you speak the truth, it's okay to speak. I've kept my mouth shut for a very long time, and yeah. And like I said, there is anger, there's sadness, there's bitterness, there's regret, that maybe I should have tried harder, or I should have done this, or I should have done this, and I'll live with that. But at the end of the day, I need someone who will work with me and be patient with me and make some compromises so that I have peace of mind. And the bottom line is, I don't need to be with someone who is a liar and a cheater, because no one deserves that. Okay, signing off. See ya. Take care. Bye.